It's kind of unfortunate, but I think that video was like an hour. I'll see how much faster this one can be. All right, so Shift A, Icosphere. We're gonna bring that up and make that smaller for the size of a human head. Quite a bit smaller, actually. Going to scale that. Click on Control 3, and then I'm gonna shade smooth and apply that. So now we're gonna go into sculpt mode. Negative Y is going to be the front. So F and G, and make sure X is on. I'm just going to start shaping that into a face. And because it looks pretty much the same everywhere, I'm going to use my draw brush here, and I'm just going to draw where the eyes would be. So just G, I'm going to shape the back of the head. And I'm just going to click on Shift to make that smoothed out a little bit. Just going to bring that up. Oh, that's weird. Just make sure the origin is on the geometry, and we'll scale that. Okay, back into sculpting mode. So I'm going to bring the neck down. And let's just draw the back, the shape of a skull. Now you can see that it's kind of difficult to move around because we did Control 3 on that. So let's just bring the ears out. Which is kind of below the eye here. We're going to go R, and you can hold down Shift to go slower, but you don't really need to. I'm going to go like maybe 0.43, and then Control R. Actually, let's go a little smaller. Maybe 0.02. Okay, now it's a little easier to change. So for the eyes, we're going to bring that in with the grab brush a little, and then the nose, bring that in, and then we'll bring the nose out. And then we're going to add some clay strips for the mouth. I'm going to Control R that again, and just refining things. We need the earlobe here. And we'll go R. Let's try that. I'm just making my brush a little smaller each time. Just gonna bring in the back of the neck and the head here, right at this part of the skull, to bring that in. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it really does give you more of an idea. Also, make sure you have lots of references for your for whatever you are sculpting, for whoever you're sculpting. And so I'm going to make my brush big, very big, and I'm just going to bring the ears down a bit here. And I don't like the point of this ear, so I'm going to add some more clay here. And for the mouth as well. So the main brushes I'm using are really just grab, draw, and then the R, Control R, Shift R, or sorry, R and then Control R is like the most important thing you can do. Another thing you can do if you go tab and this is like a disastrous, there's triangles everywhere, you can add a remesh modifier and just go like 0.02 and then shift and then just drag that down. And then once you accept that, you're gonna have a nice mesh to work from, but I kind of prefer not to use it. I don't know why. I just like this way better. And we'll bring in this plane of the head here. Bring this down a little more. Let's bring in the ears. All right, now we need more geometry immediately. Let's just bring up this a little bit. So I'm gonna go R and I'm gonna make that, I don't know, maybe like 0.01. Control R, and you can see now it looks very sculptable, and it's gonna be a lot easier to mold. So I'm going to switch over to my pen. I love using the mouse, but if you're going to be sculpting in Blender, a pen is going to be really helpful. And use Blender 5.0 because this brush, the new brushes, there are some new brushes and the brushes are improved. It's just so much better. It took me a while to finally switch over to the new versions, but you may as well. Because having the sculpting brushes here for so long, oh, that was just like so frustrating. That was so frustrating. Like it's still doable, but it's just definitely a lot more. I don't know. I like that it's nice that you can kind of see the size. Like I see here, this is draw. You know, I see this is clay strips. It's just so much easier. So I'm going to add some clay strips for the ear here. Just making sure that this is still recording. Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. As long as you get like the general shape of the ear, you can kind of move it around after, but yeah, try to get the shapes that you want early on. And I'm going to add a little bit more for the lips here. And we want this nice sort of plane of the face for the eyebrow ridge. I don't know what this one's going to look like. It's going to be a surprise. It's kind of fun. And one thing I like to do is, actually, well, let's plane that out a little. I like to get the eyebrows in because that's going to give you, so I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh Plane. Where is it? Way down here. Just GZ. I'm going to flip that, rotate that. And smaller. So I'm just clicking E to extrude. And I did put a shrink wrap modifier on here before, but it's a little annoying because you gotta go move it to the front, view in front and all that. So I just try to make it as quick and painless as possible here. That's kind of good. And I can see that this face is too flat, so it's not going to support an eyebrow. So what I do is I bring this out a bit. I just recently started doing this and I found that it's pretty helpful. So looking at this, you know what? I'm going to go back on my word. We're going to do a shrink wrap, a modifier. Okay, that's not too bad. Just to kind of give an idea of the way that the skull should kind of sit. So let's just keep working on that. And I like to have two screens up as well because then you can kind of see all the different angles. So I'm going to Control R that, just so I can smooth out this nose here. I don't know why that's doing that. Okay, that's better. So I'm just going to add some clay strips again here. And then I'm making the brush fairly small so that it's not like too much. And I'll Control R that. And add a little bit more on here. And I'm going to do an overall smooth. So I'm just going to go like, I don't know, 4, and then accept that. And then just keep working. So I'm going to use the draw brush to bring in some of the definition for the nose. Gonna build up the cheekbones a little here for the eyes. And actually, I feel like that's looking pretty supportive of an eyebrow. Just gonna flatten that a little bit, and then I'm going to accept that and apply a mirror modifier. Oh, that's not too bad. I'm just thinking that this area here could kind of probably come out just a little bit. I'll flatten right here, and then maybe right here. And I can see that there's a shadow here, so I'm going to bring just gonna bring that out just a bit. I kind of like this angle here, so I might, for the moment, keep it. All right, let's make some, oh, you know what, actually, let's just do this. I can always do the ears, fix them later, or even make, you know what I haven't ever thought of? Making ears like after it's all remeshed, but that's not that fun. Might as well just get them over with, you know what I mean? Because they're such an essential part of it. I think that's kind of good for me. I'm just gonna make this a little bit smaller. Maybe right there. So you can see that it's really a good idea to kind of block out where you want everything to go before you start adding so much detail, because whenever you press Control R, which is something you're going to need to do a lot, it erases all of your detail. It can be very, very frustrating. So that's why I have started doing the eyebrow thing, because that's just one extra kind of step that I find helps. Also, something else that is really helpful for the ears, topology wise, is giving a nice draw line to the back of the head. And let's bring in this neck a little. I'm gonna use G here. And let's draw in some detail for the nose here. All right, I'm going to add 25. I'm gonna add some eyes here. So let's go Shift A. We're gonna add an icosphere. Make that very small. Click G and then Z. And then I'm just gonna bring that into where I'm gonna just go Control 1 and then apply that and smooth that out. This doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a general guide so that you, oh, I like this angle already. It's kind of cool. So that you have some anatomy. So I just added a mirror modify in there. Now what I'm noticing already is that we need the bottom of the face to be built up. So I'm going back to sculpting, and then I'm going to use G and then just bring this up here around the eye. And now this is where we can start adding some more detail. Get in the nostrils and the shape of the nose. Okay, so I'm gonna go R. Actually, let's bring this down a little. Oh, that happened without having to try. You can see that we have the line here for the jaw. So I think that's pretty good. So the lasso tool is something that's I use a lot. And then to get rid of it, you just go Control. I always get mixed up. This just is so more eye-catching. This one is like if you want to draw, and then it's good for when you have like more finer details. And then this is just like a lasso. All right, so let's get rid of. So now I'm going to start adding in some more details. So I'm going to give it one more save. So we're going to go with the R. And we're just going to go way denser. So click on R, and then you can see the squares getting smaller as you, as you drag it towards the center. So maybe let's try 0.0088. I think that's going to work. So I'm going to use the draw tools for the lips. And then I made some indents here. So I'm just going to use can use clay strips too, just to fill that in a little. And I'll just smooth that out. Okay, now I think we can maybe just add a little bit of clay strips up here too for the eyes. And I'm going to go R and making the squares smaller. Let's go 0.00. What did I do? 0.008 last time? 0.004. So now at this point, I'm pretty happy with the location of everything. So that's why I'm going this small. But you can always zoom out. You can always go with like a lower res at any time. And you could also make a duplicate of your model at this point as well, just so that you have like a bit of a lower base if you want to go back. So I'm just using the grab brush, and then I'm gonna add some more clay strips here for the outside. Again for the lips, and a little more on the eyes. So I'm just going to push this eye back a little, the lids. And then I'm going to give it a smooth. I'm just going to change this a little. All right, so now I'm gonna go and work on the mouth a little bit. So now I'm going to add even more detail, and that's going to help create the eyes. Oops. Let's go. Let's try this. Don't forget to save your work. And you know what? I'm going to bring these, now that I brought the eyelids down, I think I can bring these down a little. Oh, that looks better. And I'm noticing now that this is a little, there we go, a bit too far out, because it should be underneath the eyebrow. All right, so now, you know, let's give these one more shrink wrap. Why does that happen? That's weird. Okay, I'll just leave them like that. Actually, you know, let's just turn them off. I'm getting a little distracted by the eyebrows. Let's flatten this plane out just a bit here. Just like a little bit, because this thing is really powerful. You don't want to go, you know what I mean, too crazy with it. But you can give yourself really nice base cheekbones and whatnot. I'm going to add a little more detail, I think, on the lips. Just a bit. I have found that the lips, the best thing is for just to move them into place, literally. They take formation once you start moving them. So I'm just going to maybe trace the opening a bit, and I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to save it one more time, and then now basically all it is just getting in all the detail. Like, I like the eyelids, the way they look, and then fine tuning. I can almost retop at this point, but it's not quite the way I want it to look. So I'm just going to do a couple more passes with the R. But first I'm going to fix the shape of these a little bit. So let's go down a little smaller. Let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, that's pretty dense. That is pretty dense. Let's try to think if there's anything else. Wonder if we should give this one smooth over. Whoops. Oh no. What is. Oh no, I didn't. Oh no. I did not mean to do that. Okay. I was like, please don't crash. Again. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't smooth it. I'll keep that on for now. And then I'm going to start adding the little tiny details. So you can see how easy it is now to, what is that? To add in the mesh, and it just looks softer. Oh, that's the eyebrows. Okay. Probably gonna add just that extra ridge eye here. I'm gonna make one extra X. I kind of like that one, the way it is. Okay, let's do this. Maybe let's try this one. Oh yeah, that's nice. I don't know, I never thought about doing this before. And then this needs to go in a little bit, so I'm gonna I don't know, this may or may not work. Oh, that's not gonna work. The only thing with the lasso is you have to be front view. And the very, very last thing I like to do is to move this part down, but not until everything is completely perfect, because then you can't go back. It becomes really difficult with the eyes to go back, I find. I'm just trying to get rid of all of these awful ridges. And I want this bit of, and just a little bit of puff there for under the eye. I mean, really, this is better to add in like after the retopo, but I just find that this is a lot easier. So you could pretty much be done by now. I'm just gonna keep going. But what else did I want to say? Just to finish this part, bring that down a little bit. I'm gonna puff this out and finish. Oh right, we forgot to do the lips. Probably could have done a smooth over the entire piece too, but it's okay. It gives it a little bit of fake texture. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to section this off, and then I'm gonna bring up the lips just so that I can bring them down, but I want all of them to come up. It's a test, okay? I don't know if it's gonna work. It may or may not work. I can just do that after, smooth that out after. Make sure I should smooth it out now. Another thing I didn't do is get this in here. But yeah, I don't know. So that is going to give the lip shape. So you want to do that at the very, very end, or you got to smooth it and refill it out. I'm just going to add a little bit here and here, and then for the lip, draw the very edge here for some, maybe not there. You know what we're gonna do? This is what I did on that last one I just did. We want to puff out this part here. So I'm gonna go G, just bring that forward. And then same here. We'll see how that looks at me. Or the top, I love the top, but oh, that's kind of cool actually. yeah, really, I'm pretty happy with that actually. So now, can do that the only thing is, I like how that very top part of the lip is like very defined. So it's going to give that a little bit more. And let's go. Actually, we can do that at the very end, but just add a little bit. I wonder what this would do. Well, that's kind of cool. Well, what about flatten? Doesn't really do anything. Okay, so now for the very last step of the lips is, and I like to add these details before retopo because it just makes everything easier. Now the only thing that actually looks pretty good. The one major problem that you have that makes lips look really unrealistic is if it's like completely flattened in here. So that's why I like to leave the volume, and then towards the end I'll bring it in. So then all you have to do at the end is just smooth out. The lips is very, very touchy, is what I find. Well, I mean, everything is kind of touchy. Like the nose is easy, and then the lips is just like, it's either looks good or like it just looks really bad. You know what I mean? Oh my god, I love this. I think it's really cute. What the heck is it? Oh, it's like, oh, what is that? Yeah, let's sing that one more time. And this is another problem that I have often is get the anatomy right. Because the chin, if you look at a chin, I mean, everybody's different, right? But these will be the last kind of touches. I like this very subtle. So I think I might round this out a little more and bring that out. And then bring it up. This is something that usually I do at the very, very beginning. I just kind of forgot for this sculpt for some reason. Now when we undo this, we're going to have a nice shadow, I think. Yeah, that looks nice. That's why I really like the last suit, 'cause it gives you like draw definition without having to draw all over your sculpt. And I think yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, right, because of the indent of it. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Give some definition to the face. Just gonna bring that neck in a bit. This is always where I kind of end, is with the chin and with the shape of the chin. Yeah, that's cool. That is kind of cool. Oh, you know what? Very last thing. Well, not actually. There's never really a last thing, but one of the last defining is the nose. Because if you feel the side of your nose, I always say this. I probably said this early in this tutorial. I don't even know. But it goes out a little bit. And this looks good because you can kind of see this Oops, what did I just do? That this skin is kind of moving, like it's bubbled up a little here, so that looks pretty good. And I'm just gonna try this. I don't usually do this, but let's bring that out just a little. And then smoothing it, I just try to smooth it sort of on the outside so that it still has some nice definition. And I think she's done. I think this one I might I don't know, maybe I'll have two versions. I really do kind of like the eyes like big like that. It's kind of cool. Anyways, oh wow, it actually recorded 1 hour. This is a long one. Well, if you made it this far, I hope that you are liking your sculpt. And I know that this video kind of jumped all over the place, but thanks for watching, and that's gonna be pretty much it. I'm just gonna spend a little time with a few extra details. right, I think that's it. I better not push my luck with today with the recording videos. The last thing I want to mention was I probably did a couple things that I didn't need to, but when you turn to this 3/4 type angle, you should have a bit of a, like that kind of a, so this is like a little bit less, but so I adjusted it to have a little bit of a higher cheekbone there. And yeah, I'm gonna not worry about this anymore because it's the shape, good enough shape, and then I can just fix that in retopo. And what else did I do? Oh, the ears. Just feel your ears, and then you'll get the hang of it, how to finish them. And yeah, I'm gonna just upload this right now. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.